Show you guys what happens when I stick wood in the HotAsh here. Watch this. See how right away it just starts to pull? Isn't that awesome? So for those people who've said the stove's hard or difficult to operate, I've heard it before. I beg to differ. Alright, we've got our Alfredo sauce. We've got chicken and broccoli and Alfredo cooking up here on top of the HotAsh. This is the full size. And over here sitting waiting, we're going to boil that in just a minute. That is the cheese stuffed tortellini. And we'll get that going. We're going to do them at separate times and combine them, just so we know that we're getting the tortellini all done. We brought the other HotAsh Mini in titanium. We brought that with us. But tonight, just to kind of get a good feel for the rocket stove again, we're using the full size, also because we're feeding all of us on a bigger meal in a bigger pot. So, but the stove is doing a great job. We enjoy using these. I can stick that down in there and let it get a good. There we go. You can see that. Watch this. See how much pull it has. Isn't that great? I really like watching this stove. And we got a good campfire going next to us. Some people ask why we use stoves when you have a campfire. Well, a stove really focuses the heat and allows you to have direct heat and a flame right on the base of your pot. So, hear Keegan coughing in the background. He is still getting over, he had the flu and then a chest cold, so out getting fresh air and campfire smoke, huh? Mm-hmm. Is that good for you? Yeah. Yeah. Look over there, we've got our light going, but you see we've got 3 hammocks hung. Keegan's over there with his tarp, mine's right in front of us, and Dorian's is actually over there connected to the light, so.
Pretty cool.
Yep, pretty cool. Alright guys, well we have the Alfredo sauce and broccoli and chicken over here sitting. In the zebra pot over here, I've got the water for the cheese stuffed tortellini. Getting ready to go, so hopefully it won't take too long to boil. The flame is actually pretty hot. So I'll see if I can even check it here. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit, not long though, I don't think. I don't think it'd be long at all. Good morning, we are car camping, and the boys set up their hammocks last night. We got out here, we messed around a little bit and fooled around, and they got their hammocks up, and it was dark when they got them set up the rest of the way. And I was teaching Keegan how to do some toggles, and Dorian wanted his hammock low, but I warned him if you get it too low, it might settle on you. So let's go look, see what they got going on. Not too bad. Let's see how he's doing. Good morning. Good morning, Keegan. I love you. I love you. Are you ready to wake up? Okay, I'll let you sleep. I love you. Okay. Are you comfortable? Mm-hmm. Are you warm? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna go check on your brother.
morning. Good morning, Dorian. Dorian. Good morning. Did you sleep good? Did you sleep good, honey? Are you warm?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting up just yet.
You're not getting up just yet? Okay. Well, I'd say they slept good. Your hammock's unzipped. How come? Did you get up? He must have, because you moved it all the way. He opted not to have a tarp up on the ground or above him. Keegan opted to put his tarp. Oh, I messed it up when I got underneath there. He opted to put his tarp up over his hammock. Help keep some warmth in, but not to put anything down on the ground. This is his new nature hike tarp that we got for him. And Doreen has the same one. So, yeah. Here's our chairs. We used the full-size stove last night. This is the HotAsh stove. Make a brew this morning, and I'm gonna use the new titanium mini HotAsh stove they have, or the HotAsh mini titanium stove. It's a pre-production stove. I'm gonna be checking it out, see what it's all about. We're car camping, so we've got our Jiffy Pop, we've got our chuck box. There's me. That's what I rolled out of. All right. So I gathered a small amount of wood here, but I'm looking up there and I see some pine. I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna get some fresh fat wood if I can find some. Shouldn't take too long. Let's go see. All right, well, here's one that's been trimmed up pretty good. But if I look next to it, here's one it's dead. This whole tree standing next to it is dead all the way up. So I'm gonna see if I can't just, I don't need anything big, just something small off of there. Should work fine. See that? My first cut. That's fat wood. I don't need much, so that'll do me good. All right, get some tea on. So far, one thing I've noticed is with the redesign of the inside here, you can't get the stove to get choked up, which is actually a really good thing. In the very first larger design, if you start to get a lot of buildup up in this area here, which you just kind of have to keep an eye out on it, that's all, you can get choked up and your fire can go out. This seems to be zero problems with that at all. What happens up here, this wood will burn, it won't turn to embers, but then it'll keep on burning and it'll break itself down even more so. So it's nice. I'm going to show you here with this stick. So these are all embers. It's fine, it's not going to choke itself up because I see the holes. Probably can't see them very well. Holes down there in the bottom. On for really, really good airflow. Just add those sticks in right there. Watch this. You can see the fire come off both, all of them. It's pretty neat. Isn't that cool? I can feel that heat. I can feel that heat way up here. I'm gonna add my kettle of water here. This is 1 liter. See how long she takes. It's getting really nice pull down here. Really nice drag on the flames, which means all that is going straight into the stove. Now if I had my spit, I have my spit with me, but if I had anything to cook on the spit, I know from experience with the other stoves that this area right here is hot. So I can actually use my spit and put it directly over this, keep feeding it, and cook right here as well. Look, there's a fingerprint right there, and it's not mine. Neat. We didn't cut the, can't see it right now, but the flames are licking up on the inside right there. It looks really cool. I'm just feeding wood that I just gathered around me. Fun thing about stove testing is just kind of finding out what works for a stove and what doesn't, and actually having the time to sit back and look at it and find out what's really working. And it's really relaxing. I'm not worried about burning the picnic table. The HotAsh is on legs, it's off the ground. I would say that of anything, the only thing I would worry about with this stove would be these back legs here. They are thin, but when you're going to a lightweight stove like this, you're probably not going to be using anything bigger than 1 liter. So probably be just fine for this application. Like all my wood I got spread all over for trying different things. I tried loading it in the top, loading it in here, and you know, just whatever. Fun stuff. See how the flame's drawn in right there? And see how it comes back? See how it pulls in? And see how it comes back. That has to do with where I'm setting my pot. So what I'm going to say is I think that in order to get this flame to draw nice and hard, you would have to raise the pot stands a little bit. Or not you, but they. HotAsh. Here's another pot stand if you look at it. And they're cut evenly, just fine. This is just a pre-production test, so you know it's not absolutely perfect. But I would think that if you made one side right here narrower, so that way the pot stand would stand up higher, it would allow more airflow on top here, which would allow a lot more of the smoke, if there is going to be smoke, especially from pine or other items like that, to evacuate out of the way and not choke out your flame. I'll show you again here. See that? Flame starts to come back. Now you can remedy that. Sometimes it just depends on the type of wood that you're using. You can remedy that by having a really nice strong hot fire, and it's going to be virtually smokeless, and you won't have to worry about that. See, right now I'm using some really good dry wood, and I can see my flame dancing around inside of there. Now, if I didn't have that opportunity or that option to use some really good dry wood, I would probably be suffering a little bit with this stove. But I think it's just a simple modification just to make this cutout on this stand, on this trivet, not so deep, so that way the pot stand sits a little bit higher in the air. I think you'd get more flow, just because it's a smaller chamber. The larger stove, I've never had an issue with the larger stove. anyway, that's just kind of stove testing. That's what a lot of the stuff that I do when I'm checking out stoves. Cool stuff like that. Usually I'm out in the woods, not at a campground, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Good morning, Dorian. Good morning. He just popped his head up and said, "Dad, I just woke up. Is Keegan awake?" They're funny. Yep, so that is stove testing. That's what I do. It's what I love to do. I love stoves. And I really, really, really do like this stove. Even, you know, even if I'm using some damp wood and my smoke is going to get choked out just a little bit because of the pot stand. So I know that, so I would just use dry wood for this because I know that, you know, that might just be a deal. But with the stove itself, it's not a problem. It's not even an issue. You know, it's just making these pot stands, or these trivets, you know, deep on one side and shallow on the other side. That way you can still have the option if you're going to use something like a canteen cup, which I'm going to use next. You wouldn't need to use a shallow one because the canteen cup usually doesn't take up the whole entire area, so you don't, you know, it's just not something you need to worry about. Or somebody cooking meat on top of there, you know, maybe on one of their grill plates, which I have a grill plate that I can use on top of here now that I just purchased. I'll show you guys that in another video. Alright, I'll come back and give you guys some more ideas if I have any, but I'm just gonna burn a stove, and my boys are gonna wake up here soon, and we're gonna have a light breakfast, and we're gonna go for a hike. We'll come back for lunch before we leave. Alright, the stove did great on the kettle, and I decided just to go ahead and put my canteen on top of it now, my canteen cup. And right away I can tell the difference because of the peanut shape at the base here of the canteen. It's allowing a lot more airflow, so I'll probably get a really, really quick boil time on this, which is good. For me, this is really beneficial because this is my main cook pot. When I'm with my kids, I usually use like a 1 or the 1.8 liter kettle, but mainly whenever I'm out, this is my main cooking pot, you know, especially for tea and coffee. So, working really well. And look who's awake over there. They're drinking their almond milk. With no almond skins. I don't know what that means. He thought he had almond skin in his chocolate milk. But
I have wood in mine.
it's wood. Oh boy, aren't they a brood when they wake up? So you can see the airflow, or you can see the flow in there. I don't know if you can see very well because of the sun, but all 3 of these twigs have a really nice flame coming off of them. That's really good. It uses just a very, very minimal amount of wood, and the heat is phenomenal. The heat really is great. Yogurt on the menu for breakfast. How is it, Dorian? Lemon Noosa tastes like lemon meringue pie. Keegan's eating one of my favorites, the blueberry. I have blood orange after my tea.
The bottom actually looks like caramel.
Yeah, it does look like caramel. The excitement of car camping. I think we like camping
a little more wilder though, don't you?
Uh-huh.
But this is okay sometimes too. Our hammocks are up. Dorian's went down to the ground a little bit, but that's all right. He said he slept amazing in his hammock. He didn't put his tarp up over his head. It's in the car still, but so is mine. We didn't need them. Keegan, did you like having your tarp over yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it keep you warmer, you think? Kept in some of the warmth? 'Cause it got kind of cold last night. 40 degrees. I mean, that's chilly when you're in a hammock.
Our marmot usually only takes about 2 minutes to put up. Probably less than that. 1 minute and some.
Oh, our tent? Yeah.
Yeah, our marmot's really easy to put up.
And it's nice too. We like it a lot. We're gonna have to get a bigger one because you guys are getting bigger.
Yeah, we actually forgot something for it.
Yeah, we forgot the tent poles when we took it down. We put the poles separate than the tent, but that was just a backup anyway, because we planned on using our hammocks.
For the second canteen, I noticed if I put the canteen like this, the flames just are enormous. I don't know if you're really gonna be able to tell, but what it's doing is it's actually allowing the flame to come through here, and straight up the backside, which I think that was kind of a operator error to begin with on my part, because I was putting the canteen cup farther over to the front side just so I could see it because of where I was sitting. But this is burning way faster. I've got a lot of flames looking up the backside, and I've almost already got a boil. So let me show you here what I'm talking about. The flames are coming straight up across. I am getting a little bit of ash buildup in there, but you also have to think that I'm probably burning more than you normally would when you're cooking, just because I've done a kettle, 2 canteens, so on the small stove. Not bad.